Have you ever eaten something you believed was helping you, only to discover later that it may have been silently hurting you? This story begins with Margaret, a 74-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. Her days were once full of long walks with her dog, laughter with grandkids, and quiet time tending her garden. But over the past 2 years, Margaret noticed something had shifted. Her legs ached more often. Her energy dipped without warning. Even simple tasks like opening jars or lifting groceries felt harder. Despite her healthy diet and active lifestyle, she felt like her strength was slipping through her fingers. Doctors called it natural aging, but Margaret refused to accept that. After months of digging, she discovered something shocking. The very nuts she'd been snacking on every afternoon, believing they were good for her heart and energy, were quietly eroding her health. This isn't just Margaret's story. It could be yours. And today, we're going to uncover the 3 nuts you should never touch after 60, and the 3 you should embrace like your life depends on it. Because it might. Part 1. The 3 nuts you must avoid after 60. 1. Hazelnuts, the hidden trigger lurking in your pantry. For years, Margaret believed she was eating well. Each morning, she'd sprinkle a few hazelnuts into her oatmeal, just like the health magazine said. Crunchy, rich, and satisfying, they felt like a smart choice. A little indulgence that didn't feel like a sin. But over time, small changes began creeping in. Her knees ached more than usual. A short walk around the block left her feeling winded. Sometimes, she'd find herself searching for a word she used to know. It's just age, she told herself. But deep down, she felt something wasn't quite right. What Margaret didn't realize was that those innocent hazelnuts were quietly working against her. Hazelnuts, though often seen as a gourmet delight, are surprisingly high in omega-6 fatty acids. While our bodies need omega-6 in small amounts, too much, especially without enough omega-3s to balance it, can fan the flames of chronic inflammation. For older adults, that's more than just a buzzword. It's the fuel behind stiff joints, sluggish muscles, and narrowing arteries. Even more concerning, hazelnuts are among the top nut allergens. And while not everyone breaks out in hives or gasps for air, many experience subtle immune reactions they don't even recognize. Maybe it's a wave of fatigue in the afternoon, swollen hands in the morning, or that frustrating cloudiness in your head that just won't go away. These aren't just minor annoyances. They're signals, quiet warnings that your body is fighting harder than it should. And when that happens day after day, it chips away at the things you hold most dear. The ability to move freely, to think clearly, to live without depending on others. So while hazelnuts may look harmless in the jar, for many older adults, they can quietly contribute to a storm within. Margaret eventually made a change. She swapped the hazelnuts for a handful of walnuts, rich in anti-inflammatory omega-3s. It wasn't a miracle fix, but within weeks, she noticed her knees didn't bark as loud, and the fog in her mind began to lift. It started with one small change, and sometimes that's all it takes. 2. Macadamia nuts, the energy thief in disguise. It started as a simple afternoon habit, just a small handful of macadamia nuts while watching the sunset from a porch. The taste was smooth and buttery, and it felt like a harmless treat. But over time, something fell off. The weight crept on, the pants started fitting tighter, and despite sleeping well, the energy to move around during the day was slowly vanishing. For many older adults, macadamia nuts can seem like the perfect snack. They're soft, easy to chew, and they carry an air of healthy indulgence. But here lies the problem. These little nuts are energy thieves in disguise. Macadamia nuts are incredibly calorie-dense. Just a small handful can pack over 200 calories, and unlike other protein-rich snacks, they offer very little in terms of muscle-supporting nutrients. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows down, and our bodies become less efficient at burning calories. That means every extra bit of energy needs to be carefully balanced. Otherwise, it gets stored as fat. And it's not just about the calories. While macadamia nuts are often praised for their healthy fats, These fats are primarily monounsaturated and come with almost no fiber. For many seniors, this combination can lead to digestive discomfort, bloating, a sluggish feeling after eating, and that frustrating heaviness that lingers hours after the snack is gone. There's another subtle effect that often gets overlooked: muscle loss. Without enough protein in the diet, the aging body begins to break down muscle mass, which further drains energy and strength. And since macadamia nuts are low in protein, they do little to help maintain the muscle that seniors desperately need to stay active and independent. So what started as a comforting daily treat becomes a hidden source of trouble, a slow drain on vitality, wrapped in a shiny health halo. But there's a better way. Choosing snacks with balanced nutrition. *** more protein, more fiber, fewer empty calories. *** can support both energy and digestion. And that's what truly matters at this stage in life. Feeling light, strong, and ready to enjoy the moments that matter most. 3. Brazil nuts, the silent overdose. It started innocently, as most things do. Helen, a 72-year-old retiree living with her husband in a quiet suburb, had recently read about the many benefits of Brazil nuts. High in selenium, an essential mineral that supports thyroid health and immune function, they seemed like the perfect addition to her daily routine. A few each morning with her tea. Just 2, maybe 3. Weeks passed, then months. But Helen began noticing subtle changes. Her once strong nails became brittle and thin. Her thick gray hair, a point of pride, started falling out more than usual. There were mornings when her joints ached without explanation. And sometimes she struggled to remember simple things, like why she walked into the kitchen or where she had placed her glasses. Her doctors ran tests. Everything came back, mostly normal. No red flags. The symptoms were brushed off as just getting older. But the real problem wasn't age. It was selenium. Brazil nuts are incredibly dense in selenium. Just one nut can contain more than the recommended daily amount. Eating 2 or 3 a day over time, like Helen did, can lead to selenium toxicity, a condition that creeps in slowly, quietly. Especially dangerous for older adults with sensitive systems, weakened detoxification, or already managing multiple medications. Helen never suspected the cause could be something so small, so natural, so healthy. Part 2. The 3 nuts that help you rebuild strength, memory, and independence. 1. Pecans, a gentle companion for the aging heart. In the quiet rhythm of everyday life, some foods don't beg for attention, but they offer gifts that matter deeply, especially as the years pass. Pecans are one of those gentle treasures. With their soft, buttery texture, pecans are kind to aging teeth and tender digestive systems. For seniors who find it hard to chew harder nuts or manage digestive discomfort after meals, pecans slip in like an old friend, familiar, easy, and comforting. But what truly makes pecans special lies deeper. Within each small nut is a powerful source of polyphenol, natural compounds that fight the silent fire of inflammation, the kind that quietly damages blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and wears down the heart over time. As we age, the body becomes more vulnerable. The heart, once strong and steady, can begin to strain. Blood pressure becomes unpredictable, energy dips more often, and the brain feels foggy. But a simple handful of pecans each day can make a difference. Not in dramatic ways, but in the steady, subtle ways that matter most. Pecans gently lower LDL, bad cholesterol, support smoother blood flow, and help the heart stay calm and balanced. They don't promise miracles, but they offer quiet support, keeping energy more even, blood pressure less jumpy, and the heart feeling just a little stronger. For those in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, pecans are more than just a snack. They're a small act of self-care, easy to enjoy, easy to digest, and packed with quiet strength. 2. Almonds, small nuts, strong bones. She never thought something so small could make such a difference. Every morning, Mr. Thompson, 74, would take a handful of almonds and place them neatly in a small bowl beside his breakfast plate. It wasn't just a habit, It was a quiet promise to himself to stay strong, balanced, and independent a little longer. Almonds, though tiny, carry a powerhouse of nutrients that matter deeply in the later chapters of life. They're rich in calcium, magnesium, and protein, three essential elements that work silently beneath the surface, supporting bones that may have grown more fragile with time, muscles that don't move quite like they used to, and nerves that occasionally miss a signal. For older adults, falls are more than just accidents. They're setbacks. They threaten freedom, mobility, and sometimes dignity. Almonds can't turn back the clock, but they can help reinforce the body's foundation from within, strengthening bones and supporting balance in a way that feels natural and gentle. But that's not all. These humble nuts also help manage blood sugar, a concern that grows for many with age. Thanks to their healthy fats and fiber, almonds support steadier energy levels without the spikes and crashes. And their mild, satisfying crunch, it does more than please the palate. It encourages chewing, which keeps the jaw active, stimulates brain function, and can even help with digestion, something that often slows with age. For people like Mr. Thompson, those almonds are more than a snack. They're a daily act of care, a simple way to keep the body moving and the mind sharp, because staying strong doesn't always mean doing more. Sometimes it just means doing what matters, one small almond at a time. 3. Pistachios, the vision and vitality guardian. John, a retired teacher in his early 70s, used to love reading the morning paper with his coffee. But in recent years, the words had begun to blur. His eye doctor explained it was the early signs of age-related macular degeneration, AMD, a common condition among older adults that affects the central part of vision. It frightened him. Not being able to read, recognize faces, or drive safely felt like losing pieces of his independence. That's when his daughter, a nutritionist, recommended a simple habit: eating a handful of pistachios every day. More than just a tasty snack, pistachios are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, two nutrients that are proven to help protect aging eyes from harmful light and slow the progression of AMD. These compounds act like natural sunglasses for the eyes, filtering out blue light and shielding the retina. But the benefits didn't stop there. John also struggled with muscle weakness in his legs, which made it hard to get up from chairs or walk long distances. He didn't want to rely on anyone just yet. Pistachios, as it turns out, are packed with potassium and plant-based protein, which play a vital role in supporting muscle strength and maintaining stable blood pressure, both crucial factors for staying mobile and independent. There was also a psychological shift. Unlike chips or cookies, pistachios have shell. You have to pause and crack each one open, which slowed down John's snacking. He noticed he ate more mindfully, felt fuller sooner, and avoided overeating. That small act of awareness gave him a sense of control over his food, his health, and his daily routine. Now, pistachios are part of his morning ritual. He still reads the paper. The words are a little clearer, his steps a little stronger, and his spirit unchanged. For older adults like John, sometimes a small change can lead to big results. Pistachios aren't just a snack. They're a step toward preserving vision, staying strong, and living independently, one shell at a time. You've worked hard for your independence. You deserve to feel strong, clear-minded, and confident every day. But the wrong foods, even ones labeled as healthy, can quietly chip away at that freedom. Choosing the right nuts isn't about trendiness or gourmet appeal. It's about function, preservation, and honoring your body. So if you're like Margaret, determined not to let age define your limits, start by making this one small change today. Remove the nuts that take from your body. Embrace the ones that give back. It might seem simple, but it can mean more strength in your legs, more clarity in your mind, and more time enjoying the people and moments that matter most. Because you're not done yet. You're just getting started. Let me know, which of these nuts will you be adding or removing from your daily routine? Your health journey inspires others. Drop a comment with the word strength if you're choosing to protect your health today.